Well, hello everybody. It is, you notice I always have to check my watch. It's the 27th of March 2025 and it's 12:45 p.m. And I'm going to give you a little update, of course, on the hip replacement. Yesterday, I started the process of I wanted to incrementally increase the amount of activity. I think we're at the point where I need to find the right balance between too much and too little. So it takes some experimentation. Now, this will show you a chart of my step count. And so the short one there is today so far, but the big one is yesterday. And that big one is 1,622 steps. And that's the most by far that I've done since I've been here. You look, I'm doing a month here, and just look at this portion here is, you can say there's a day where there were basically no steps. That was the day of the surgery, and the big part here is prior to the surgery. So I'm trying to work my way up to where I was. Now, I did have that one bad day on Saturday that I had 1,188, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like about 6 days, full days post-surgery. So that was too much too soon. So I cut back and I started building up again. And so that day was 1188 on March 22nd. And yesterday was March 22nd. So 4 days later, 4 full days later, I'm up to 1,600. And that was a little too much. Now, the repercussions from that Saturday, if you've been following along, were not severe, but they were significant. My legs had really significant swelling, and it was quite painful. Today, I did not have much swelling at all. I could see a little bit of swelling, especially right around the incision site. By the way, that's almost completely healed. All the bandaging is off it, and there's going to be a very slight scar there, if any. So today, I'm going to try to slow down a little, and then I'll ramp back up Friday and Saturday. So finding that niche of a consistent increase in activity at a reasonable slope is something that I'm looking to do. And I use, with the Apple phone and the Apple Watch, it'll track every step that I take. So that's pretty useful. Now, that's where I am in recovery. A week from today, I'll be having my final meeting with the surgeon, which I assume he's going to be doing an x-ray. He'll check out my range of motion and everything, and sign off on or give me advice on driving to New Mexico, leaving Quartzite, which will be a week from Saturday that I'll be taking off and heading to somewhere in New Mexico. We don't know where we're going to stop or where exactly we're going to end up, but you'll be there with me because I'll have videos every day doing that. And Cheryl's going to come with me. She's headed back home to the east, so she's going to, we're going to split off in New Mexico, but she's going to be with me until I get to a place where I'm going to stay for at least a couple of weeks to, get closer to full recovery before I head way up to Eagle Nest around the first week of June. So that's what the plans are. What else is new? Gray t-shirts. Yeah, I went to gray t-shirts. I ordered a bunch of them. I know it looks a little too big, but they haven't been, they're new out of the package. I haven't washed them yet. They'll shrink a little bit as I wash them. And I'm going to just move away from the black t-shirts. It's just, I think there were a couple of times where I said, even I was a little distracted by the pet hair that I saw when I was doing the videos. The pet hair's still there, but with a gray shirt, it's almost impossible to detect. So somebody said, someone I know said to me, it's taken me a day. I had a little hard time getting used to seeing you on camera in a light colored t-shirt. But people will get used to it, I'm sure. It kind of matches my beard, maybe. Gray beard, gray t-shirt. So what else is going on? The travel plans. There was something else I wanted to talk about. You know, I did mention that it's been hot, you know, so I've been my Harbor Freight Predator 5000 dual fuel generator has been an amazing solution for both me and Cheryl. I was able to run an extension cord, probably 150 feet or something, several cords together, to run her AC as well while I'm running mine. The generator's that powerful, so that's been a really good step up in power from I had the Honda 2200, which most of you know that's an amazing generator. One of the things I discovered about it last year was, although with my soft start on my AC and everything, it ran flawlessly here. Once I got into New Mexico, when I hit about 6,000 or 7,000 feet of elevation, it would not keep the AC going, and it was quite some time before I figured out that you lose a couple of percent of power for every 1,000 feet in elevation. So by the time I got over 6,000 feet, I'd lost enough power in the generator so it would not run the AC. So that's when I decided to upgrade to the Predator 5000. Normally the Honda 2200 means that's surge watts, right? Running watts close to sea level here is about 1,800, but up at 6,000 it was more like 1,400, and just not enough to keep the AC going. The Predator 5000, that's 5,000 surge watts. The running watts, and I'm off a little here because my memory's not that great, but I think on gasoline it's a little higher. I think it's about 3,700, and I think it's about 3,500 with propane, or it could be, I could be off 100 watts one way or the other. But I watched it, and with both of our ACs going, the max I was seeing was just at 3,000, so it was well under the capacity, so there's no overload situation. And certainly running just my own stuff, I'm going to be nowhere near that ceiling, even at high elevations. Like I'll be 8,000 feet plus when I'm in Eagle Nest. So the other thing that I love about the Predator, the Harbor Freight, is I spent a few $100s extra for the warranty, and anything goes wrong with it, you just show up to a Harbor Freight and you give them the old one, they give you a new one. There's no repair, there's no real questioning. There's like, you have a problem with it, we'll take it, we'll give you a new one, see you later. It really is that simple, and I haven't had to do that. So and that's been a real testament to the Harbor Freight Predator 5000. I think there's a Predator 3 or 3500. There's several in the Predator line you might want to do research on if you're looking for a generator. I would highly recommend them. It's not the super high quality that maybe Honda and Yamaha is. A repair person told me one of the things that makes like, for example, the Honda stand out. A Honda repair person, authorized repair person, told me this: the windings, the electric windings in the motor are copper, and that's expensive, and that's one of the reasons that one of the things that contribute to the little bit higher price for the Honda versus like the Predator. The Predator uses aluminum windings versus copper windings, but so far it's been good with me. I think that with tariffs out of China, I think Harbor Freight's going to be in a little bit of a pickle. I do know that they contract with a very large company in China to manufacture all of their generators. I know that for sure. And I suspect that many of the things that they sell are manufactured in China under contract. So in the short term, we may see some price pressure on harbor freight products, unfortunately. But I'm not an economist. I don't know that for sure. We'll just see, won't we? All right. Let's see. What else? The big thing I wanted to talk about. Here was the big thing that I wanted to talk about today. It's a natural thing to think about, well, what am I going to do next year in Quartzite? And so far for 4 years, is it 3? I think 3 years in a row, it's been, I'm coming out to La Posa South and I'm boondocking out here. And now I'm looking at year number 4. And for a while I'm not really concerned about the big price hike. So it goes from 180 to 600. That's okay. I can afford that. But this thing occurred to me mostly because of my friends that you've seen on here, Charlie and Diane, my friends from Kansas and Eagle Nest. They live in Kansas, but I met them in Eagle Nest, New Mexico, and we've become great friends, and we're going to be together pretty much the whole summer this summer. They came to Quartzite, and they stayed in an RV park here, and I went to visit them several times. And it occurred to me very recently, well, what if I tried a year staying in town in an RV park with full hookups? And how would that look different for my personal experience, my YouTube experience? And as I started thinking it through, I realized, you know what? It would look very, very different. For example, if I'm going to live in town, I would be using my e-bike quite a bit. And I don't know if you've seen it this year, probably not, maybe way back in the beginning of the season. I do have a little trailer, a little dog trailer that Dottie rides in. So I would spend probably a lot of time zooming around on my e-bike with Dottie in town versus driving into town. I would already be in town. Where exactly, I don't know, but there's 50 RV parks in Quartzite. And it would be a whole different perspective on contrasting what it's like to spend the season boondocking on federal lands versus paying for a spot in town and having full hookups. Certainly it's more expensive, but it's not as expensive as you might think, depending on the RV park. The rates vary anywhere from $200 to $300 a month, all the way to, there's one I looked at online that was like $900 a month, and that's all plus utilities, plus electric. So if they're charging you $900 a month and your electric bill is, say, $200, which it probably wouldn't be in the winter, but let's say it's $100, then you would be at $1,000 a month for. I think that's the most expensive. I couldn't find one more expensive than that, but most of them are in the I'd say the $200 to $400 a month, depending on the length. You can buy packages, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, the whole season, etc. And the longer the period of time, the lower the monthly cost is. And you really don't use a lot of electricity here in the winter months. Now, keep in mind, I'm using electricity right now for my generator because it's still hot this week. We had about 4 days in a row that are hot, and tomorrow I won't be using the generator at all, probably for the rest of my time here. There was just a little blip of the peak day, I think was day before yesterday. It topped out. The outdoor ambient temperature was over 100 degrees. Which is pretty unbearable for us humans and our pets in the desert, in these little fiberglass and or metal boxes. It's pretty tough. but managed it through, as I was talking about, Cheryl and I sharing my my wonderful generator. So I'm seriously considered doing that, and I probably need to make a decision about making a reservation in the next week or so, because for the longer term stays in the more popular parks, these things go away pretty quickly. People do it, you know, as they're leaving, they book for the next year, so they're not. There's a little bit of urgency with that, not too much, but a little bit of urgency. But I thought it would be really nice to have both a variety of my experience in Quartzite and a variety in all. Really, there would be a lot of fresh video content that would be different from what I've presented in the past few years, because it would be a very different perspective. So, and just the whole idea of being in Quartzite and being able to take a shower whenever I wanted to and not have to worry about dumping my tanks, and that would be a very different experience for me. And I think I might, that I don't anticipate that that's something that I would do every year, but it's something that I may do next year. So that was the thing that I had in the back of my mind to talk about on this video. So anyway, that is all I have to share today. And as always, I really enjoy you spending time watching these videos, and your interest in what I have to say and what I'm doing. I appreciate it quite a bit. Thank you. See you tomorrow.